Doilies by Shell. In this video I want to introduce a project that I made during May's Bead Along at Seed Beads and More. The Bead Along was called Magical Machines, and it was introduced by Kate and the Contemporary Geometric Beadwork. The top project was the Kaleidocycle, and the projects were made with peyote stitch and seed beads. I wanted to create a kaleidocycle with my cross weave and faceted beads. And here it is. Now, when I first showed my kaleidocycle to the group, many of them mentioned giving them to children. I just want to mention that these are not approved for children, so please consider this when you go to give them to children. Here I'm going to show you a peyote pyramid and a faceted bead art pyramid. Here is the peyote pyramid and faceted bead art. Now you need 6 pyramids to make one kaleidocycle. With the peyote, one triangle or facing took me 30 minutes. I did not time it with a pattern because I don't use peyote a lot and I actually got lost. So it took me quite a long time to make the one with the pattern, but the plain faced ones, once I got the stitch down, I timed myself and it took 30 minutes to make one triangle. With the faceted bead art, it takes an hour and 15 minutes to make one triangle. The reason for this is the peyote triangle has built-in support. The way that the stitch is, it holds its shape very well. With the faceted bead art, you need to actually give it support, so it requires extra beading work. Here, I want to show you that with the faceted bead art, you first create 3 small triangles. Then what I do is I connect the center of the 3 small triangles, starting the support. Then I connect the remaining part of the triangles with the center support underneath. And then I add the outer wall of the support. And the final process is to zip up the supports so that it holds its shape very well. Now, when I first created my faceted bead art kaleidoscope, I used patterns from Kate and Deborah that were actually for the peyote stitch, and I converted them. The most difficult part of creating the kaleidoscope was the assembly, that is weaving or connecting the pyramids together. And I have to thank Bethel for her tutorial, for it helped me the most for actually assembling my kaleidocycle. Now here I am going to show you how to convert a peyote triangle pattern into a cross weave triangle pattern. So here is our peyote pattern, and here is a graph for the faceted beads. So what I do is I start at the center of the graph and work out. Now on this there is orange, but the printer made these two colors look the same. So this part here is red, and then the small section here is orange. So I'm going to start with this one, and what it is the first bead here goes here. So it's actually you making one bead into two beads. Then the next row each gets one bead, just like in the original pattern. So every other row gets, each bead gets doubled. So here we do 2, and then this one we do 2, and this one we do 2. And then the next row is 1 for each. And then the next row, each one gets 2. And then in the next row, we have 1 blue. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, these pencils are not cooperating. Alright, and then we do the reds. And we end with blue. And then the next one, we do 2 for each. And this is how you can turn a peyote pattern into a faceted bead if you see one that you really like. Now, I do have to say that there are certain patterns, because you are stretching it somewhat, that won't convert as well. For example, one facing on my finished kaleidoscope, I changed a little bit. Let me show you. This one here, when I converted the pattern, it had extra pink sticking up at certain points, and I decided to remove those extra pinks and just leave it more smooth looking. So when you make your graph from the peyote pattern, you want to consider areas that you might need to adjust. And then there are, of course, certain ones, because you are stretching the picture, that just might not transfer very well. But that is what you want to do, is the odd rows, and you want to start in the center because it's the easiest, because actually some peyote ones are actually much longer. So if you start in the center, you can see how far. And if you want to make this bigger, you can, but I usually only make them this large. So the odd ones will be doubled, and the even ones will be the same number. And then you double the odd, and even will be the same number. So that is how you convert a peyote triangle pattern into a cross weave triangle pattern. Now, it is my hope to put up videos showing you the different phases of creating a triangle and then connecting it into a kaleidocycle. So I would, of course, first start with the in small triangles, then show you how to connect the center, and then connecting the triangles the rest of the way. Now this pattern here, along with the other patterns, I created specifically for the videos, because each step has its own color. The triangles are the main design color. Then the support, I'm using white so that it stands out, makes it easier for you to see what I'm doing. And then I connect them with a different color so you can see where the connection points are. And of course then you finish off the supports with the white so that you can see it. Because before, when I did, and same with my finished Kaleidocycle, I copied for the support the colors, and that is something that you can do, but as you can see with this one, you can just barely see the support, which is a good thing, but when you're trying to do a video, it's not very good. So I will be hopefully doing up some videos showing you how to make these 4 triangles, and then in the end we will make a kaleidocycle with the triangles. And I hope that you might be able to come back and join me for that.